snooze button is like the McDonald's of your phone. Quick, easy, makes you feel good-ish in the moment, and like absolute garbage later on. Waking up early is cutting your own fries, throwing them in the air fryer, and making your own fancy sauce. Yes, everyone hates you for talking about it, but it's hard to care when you're catching so many W's. You're a winner, baby. My name's Faye Robertson, and in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to wake up earlier, become a morning person, and fix your sleep schedule. And I decided to share this advice after releasing my last video, my 5 a.m. morning routine, where I did try to talk a little bit about how I was able to wake up at 5 a.m., but I also didn't want to interrupt the vlog vibe by chatting too much. Speaking of chatting, yes, I do have bronchitis, so that is why my voice is like this. This is my regular voice. But after having only been able to whisper for 5 days, I thought, you know what? If this is what I have right now, let me speak while I can. But yeah, basically, I saw the need for creating this video after I did my whole 5 a.m. morning routine. I was like, okay, this is great. This is a good routine. But for someone to be able to adapt the 5 a.m. morning routine, they have to figure out, how do I get up at 5 a.m. or how do I get up early in general? And since I've spent a lot of time teaching myself this, I'm going to share it. And there are 3 parts to this. It's the night before, the morning of, and the mindset. So we're going to start with the night before. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. You got to plan your day. It's hard to get up early and be motivated to choose doing stuff over getting extra sleep if you don't know what the stuff you're doing is, and you have to have the additional burden of figuring out what to do early in the morning. You need to know why you're getting up. So before you go to bed, to whatever degree you're comfortable with, plan your day. What I usually do is just I scribble down my notes app like the 5 things I gotta do that day. But you also have to prep for your day. For example, if you want to go to the gym, you gotta lay out your workout clothes. If you're gonna head straight to work, pack your bag, pack your lunch. You gotta take away every single obstacle that may deter you from getting up early and doing stuff. If you're like, oh, I gotta go to the gym, I don't know what to wear, that might stop you from going to the gym. If you don't have the tools you need, you might just be like, oh, screw it, it's not worth it. It's too many things to think about. We're not the best at thinking early in the morning, so you gotta basically think about everything beforehand, because you gotta treat yourself in the morning as a person who doesn't have a brain, just a body. Also, I feel like this is a no-brainer, but I'm gonna say it anyways. You gotta go to bed early. Even if you know you're not gonna fall asleep, this is a part of the training. We're not just getting up early one day, we're getting up early in general. So you gotta go to bed at the time you feel like you should go to bed. For me, it's 9 because I want to sleep 8 hours. And then you gotta train yourself to be in bed at that time. It's probably gonna take some time before you fall asleep at 9 or 10 or 11 or whenever you want to fall asleep. But you gotta start somewhere and you gotta lay in bed. And here's the thing. Even if you're not sleeping, if you're resting, that's also good. I think people are like, oh, if I don't fall asleep, it's better to just sit up and watch Netflix because then I'm doing something. No, if you're lying in bed and not being on your phone, you are resting and you are doing your body good, even if it's not as good as sleep. And you're training your body to be in bed at that time, to sleep at that time. And in general, do whatever you gotta do to make yourself comfortable. For example, usually I don't wear a sleeping mask all the time, but now that it's summer, it's not at all dark in Norway. So for me to go to bed at 9, having no curtains because I like the natural sunlight to like wake me up, I do. I'm a little wake me up when I'm in paradise mask, and yeah, it helps me sleep. If you need blackout curtains, get yourself blackout curtains. Recognize your own needs, be very attentive to your own needs, and fill them as good as possible. A lot of doing healthy things is just figuring out what works and actually doing it, even if we feel like douchey or pretentious or whatever, and also getting used to caring for ourselves. And yeah, when you're going to sleep early, don't put pressure on yourself to fall asleep, but again, be mindful. Notice what is happening in your body, what is happening in your mind. Try to, not that night, but the day of, look for solutions and see what arises and like be a problem solver. But don't stress about falling asleep. If you can't fall asleep, the next day, you still have the possibility to sleep. It's not like if you don't fall asleep tonight, you'll never sleep. What I'm about to say might sound awful and impossible, but remember, it is coming from the mouth of someone who has more empty Monster cans in their bedroom than the 17-year-old gamer. You have to delay caffeine for 1 hour after waking up. That's it, just 1 hour. I learned this from the Mel Robbins podcast. She was interviewing a doctor. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but I do remember that Mel Robbins said on her recap thing, this is one of the most important lessons I've taken this year. And once I adopted it, it truly was for me too. For some reason, I don't know why, don't remember why, don't care as long as it works. If you just wait 1 hour before drinking caffeine, you take up the caffeine better and become more awake. It's sort of like the caffeine you drink at the top of the day doesn't really matter, but the caffeine after that 1 hour is just so much better and you're so much more stable and your hormones and everything. I don't know what it is, but I do know that I need less caffeine and I feel more awake when I do it, so I'm forever gonna do it. And 1 hour isn't a lot either, so it's like 5% of your day. Not even. And for your energy to be so much more even throughout the day, completely worth it. And now when I wake up, I don't really need caffeine straight away either. It's like your body adjusts. But not only do I delay caffeine 1 hour, I also don't watch shorts, which I know I probably shouldn't look at my phone at all, but I do. But what I've noticed helped is just not looking at shorts, because I feel like shorts is kind of it is like caffeine. It's just dopamine. And by shorts, I mean any short form. I don't have TikTok. I don't use Instagram. All of those types of things, they're so intense. It's a lot for your brain. So if you delay that at least 1 hour, I mean, honestly, for me, I don't do them the whole morning. I don't want to, because you're in such a fragile state and it's so dramatic. And yeah, it just really helps my day and my brain with not getting a headache. I have a rule. I say to myself, if I'm dead tired in an hour and I really want to go back to bed in an hour, I'll go back to bed. A 1 hour rule. Just give yourself 1 hour in the morning, see how you feel. So if you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired, I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. And you say to yourself hey, okay, I get it. You're tired. And you know what? I respect you. So if you really don't want to have woken up this early today, if you're still dead tired at 6, we'll go back to bed. The bed is right there. It's right there. We can go back. And once you're up and about and you're doing your workout and you've gotten some fresh air and you had some crisp, cold water, you probably won't want to go back to bed. And also, here's the other thing. If you actually do, if you're dead tired and you just woke up on the wrong foot, you can't go back to bed. You're not lying. The bed is right there. And if you need to go back to bed, go back to bed. Because if everything's gone right and you're in a good place, you won't need to go back to bed. And we're not punishing ourselves. We're giving ourselves something positive. And if for some reason that thing isn't positive that day because something is wrong, I have bronchitis. You think I woke up at 5 a.m. every morning this week? I did not. Because my body actually needed that extra sleep and that extra rest. So if you for some reason really want to go back to bed at 6 a.m., do it. But 99% of the time, this is just a golden trick. It just makes it feel like a lighter commitment. It feels like it's more on your own terms. It doesn't hurt your ego as much. And you knew this was coming because you saw the intro. Do not snooze. I learned this from Mel Robbins too. Let me just go into the science of it real quick, like I'm a scientist. Basically, as you know, REM cycle is 90 minutes. So if you snooze and you wake up within those 90 minutes, within 8 minutes, which is often on iPhone, or 30 minutes even, you're interrupting a cycle and you'll be so much more tired. If I decide hey, I'm gonna sleep extra, I'm doing an extra 90 minutes because I don't want to interrupt the cycle. If you sleep 8 minutes more, those 8 minutes are not gonna give you more rest, really. It's 8 minutes. And B, not only are they not going to give you anything extra, they're going to take away so much because you're interrupting your body and now your body hates you. So whatever you do, whenever you're waking up, don't snooze. Instead, follow my next tip. Here's the thing. You got to wake up. Wake up. Not scroll on your phone. You got to get some fresh air. You got to get moving, whether you're going for a walk, you're going on the elliptical, you're doing yoga, you got to get your body moving, you got to get your blood pumping, you got to get some air. This is sort of what the morning is about, right? We're not getting up at 5 a.m. to watch Netflix. We're getting up at 5 a.m. to do something nice for ourselves and to build our dream life, our dream body, etc. Do nice things for yourself. This morning is supposed to be a reward. If you want to walk to the park and see some beautiful sights, do that. If you want to take some time to paint, to read, something that you really appreciate. And hey, it might be watching Netflix, by the way, but I doubt you'd get up only to watch Netflix. But if you want to give yourself a little reward, do that, because the reason you're waking up at 5 a.m. isn't so that your colleagues will say, oh, you wake up at 5 a.m. Good for you. You're waking up at 5 a.m. for yourself. It's your morning. It's for you. It's not about anyone else. So whatever makes your morning worth it to you, like, that's the point. Another hard part about the morning is that even if you fall asleep late or go to bed late, you still got to get up in the morning, because it's a, say it with me, it's a routine. It's a routine, okay? That means that even if one part of it falls a little bit apart, we don't want the domino effect. You got to do good. Sort of like I said, like, you got to go to bed early even though you're not used to it. You also got to get up early even if you went to bed late, because you have to continue the routine. Be patient, be a little tired, but know that it's for a good cause. I repeated this a little, but keep it in mind and tell yourself this. Instead of feeling like you're pushing yourself to do something, like you're like, oh, I have to get up at 5, keep in mind that you're not punishing yourself. You're not like forcing yourself to be like a productive whatever. You're actually doing something nice for yourself. You're getting up early to take care of yourself and do something kind. Continuously remind yourself that this is for you, and it's going to do a lot of good in your life, for your health, for your mindset, for your happiness, and that it's a gift. And also keep this in mind. One of my favorite things about waking up early is that it's this ripple effect of W's. First of all, we usually wake up early for like a good morning routine, right? So like making a healthy breakfast, working out, doing some work in a special project, reading, cool things like that are super, super positive. So obviously when we start a day like that, we sort of want to continue our day like that. It's the human mindset. But then also really just waking up early, even without all of that, feels like a big W within itself. For me personally, when I wake up at 5 versus when I wake up at 10, I feel like I've already got a W. It's a dub for me. Fact of the matter is, for some reason, when you wake up at 5, you feel like having a healthy breakfast. You don't feel like having pizza for breakfast. You just don't. And like, hey, I'm all for pizza for breakfast, but it's also an amazing feeling to get up, do healthy stuff, and feel like you want to do more healthy stuff. Doing one good thing leads to so many more good things. So just keep thinking of that the benefit will be that this will be a giant ripple effect in your entire life. And like, yeah, I might suck getting up early the first few days, but it's worth it. You see yourself get in more reading, get more productive work, maybe start taking vitamins, eat healthy, just because you feel like a more healthy person. You feel like that type of person. And another thing about waking up early is that you have more time for yourself, you have more quietness, and usually, like I said, I don't watch shorts in the morning. Usually in the morning, I don't really want to watch anything, which is weird because if you know me, you know I always have a YouTube video in the background, but a lot of time in the morning, I just take some time to myself in silence. And because of that, you get to know yourself better, and you know your wants and needs clearer. You just get more clarity on everything. It's a very meditative state. Even if you're someone like me, you can't really sit still and meditate. It's sort of like you are meditating and you're just getting deeper into your own brain, really, and getting to know yourself better, get to make better decisions, figure out where you want to go with your life. It's really, really good for clarity. And if your clarity is telling you to subscribe to my channel, absolutely right, on the money. So definitely subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.